Welcome to Parked Up Garage. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and Garrett. It's another wonderful day. Another one of them there have wrench will travel kind, you know what I mean? I'm back over here. One of my customers sent me over a little list this morning and said, "Might want to lay your eyes on these. We kind of need them to roll." Here I am. I want to show you a little something. Let me flip you around here. What's up? Driver, I don't know if you can see this or not. Driver said that it wanted to go into D-rate yesterday. And today is, let's see, what, 26th? But the last code that I can see, now it does have SCR NOx catalyst efficiency and reductant quality. It's inactive, had one count. That date is the 7th day of April of 2025. For both of those. I'm beginning to wonder that is this feller seeing the regen light coming on going down the road and he's thinking he's got a problem. But I'm gonna get on out here, even though it ain't showing me that it's got an issue, and there is no checked engine light on this dash. Let me show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna flip you back around here. All right, let's jump down out of here. Get walking around. Never mind the sound of my generator running in the background. You get kind of far away from these buildings, and you gotta have 12,000 miles of extension cord to run your stuff. So you see this connector right here? That's going into your SCR, coming out of your DOC and DPF. We'll pull these steps, this heat guard off. This tube down here, your SCR def dosing valve is in that end of that tube down there. It flows that def fuel down this pipe as a vapor into this SCR. What's going to help out your NOx. Now, I'm going to spare you all of the looking at of doing that, unless I might want to get steps off of it, get in there where you can see the valve and the tube, show you that. And but I'm going to have to get that tube part right there, go in there and make sure that it doesn't have crystal sublimation going on. It'll look like a white crystalline caked up powder in there that it can cause this to happen. But if I don't see that, I'm probably going to go ahead and throw this thing in a NOx conversion test, and I'm going to look at them numbers and see what they are. But if it's good, I'm just going to have to tell him, tell that fella when that heat light comes on, it's just telling this thing's going to run a regen going down the road. Don't get nervous. It's supposed to do that. But I'll be back at you there in a minute when I figure out what's going on. Alright, then. Got you back on here. For you guys, this was like instantaneous. For me, it took about 5 minutes. But I want to show you what I was looking at. Alright. It's your DOC and DPF. There's a def dosing valve I was telling you about. It doses that diesel exhaust fluid into here under extreme temperature. Comes through this tube into the SCR filter. It's this big can back here. And that's where you're reading your inlet NOx here and your outlet NOx over there. And I don't see any major build-up, telltale signs. There's a little bit of def leaking around that gasket there, so maybe. We'll see. We'll get the dosing valve pulled off of it. I'll flip you back around. I'll stick the old bore scope down in there. We'll see what it shows. Is if I see enough buildup that makes me feel like I need to pull that tube off. Beat on it like I've been mad at it for 6 months and get all that cleared out. we'll see what we got going on. But y'all stay tuned, and I'll see you back here in a minute or 27. All right, now I got this connector off. Let me flip you around. I want to show you what I was talking about if I can get the phone down in there. All right, down in here, this is the connector tube that goes into the SCR. Now, if you'd had a crystalline issue going on, all right down in there, that would have just been slammed full of that white crystal I was telling you about. But as you can see, this one looks pretty good. So, I'm going to have to go with what the ECM is telling me. It don't have any codes for it. I'm thinking that maybe the driver just got some kind of paranoia issue going on, but I am going to go ahead. While I'm here and I've went this far, you know, you get in that deep, deliver the package, you hear me? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run that NOx concentration test on this thing, and we're going to see what it is. You know, if they match up pretty good and I got at least 80%, she's going to be good to go. But I'll run the test there in a little bit and I'll let y'all know. And another thing, fellas, these clamps, take your hammer, hit these things, tap them all around there when you go to tighten it up. Don't, let me get you around. Don't get on that thing with your electric ratchet and start drawing her down tight. Yeah, this will do it. Get a regular ratchet on there, snug on it a little bit at a time. Smack on it there with your improvised hammer, snug it. Because, you know, don't ask me how I know, but I believe you get on that thing with that electric impact and it goes to snap, then you don't have a clamp, you're in a world of hurt. But another thing while I was thinking about it when I was tightening on that too is, you know, you can get this situation going on. If you got some exhaust leaks going on, it can really make the system do some weird stuff. I mean, well, this thing is reading the inlet and outlet NOx and all your temperatures. It's kind of sensitive, but I've got the tube back on it. Got everything tight. I'm gonna put this back together and then the NOx conversion test on this thing. Let's just see what the numbers look like. If it's happy, I'm happy. Just saying. I'll catch you guys back here in a minute. Alright, fellers and fellettes. Another thing, let me flip you back around here. Well, these things are all bent up like that. Bound up. It can take up to, but not limited to, at least 6.8 colorful metaphors and one dammit man to get all the bolts back in there. So, don't get aggravated. You get them in there. A lot of heat there. You need these guards to step in place so nobody gets a little burnt up. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to get all the tools gathered up. I'm going to jump inside and fire this mug up. We're going to get some heat in it. We're going to start this test to see what it tells us. I'll see you in a minute. Alright. So we'll start the NOx evaluation test on this thing for the concentration, but it doesn't the old. I got a little bit too much soot in me. You might want to do a DPF regen real quick. So I'm doing it, but I wanted to show you fellas something when you're in here, especially on a Volvo. Let me get it flipped around here. And you see, I got real good temps going on right there on the after treatment side. But I want to show you something. I'm trying to do this left hand. Let me close that temperature out for you right there. Let me go down to what group was it? Alright, look at this. If you're in your Volvo Tech tool, can you see your shutoff valve on your after treatment for your fuel shutoff valve? That mug's at 20%. That I can kind of live with. Now on the dosing control valve, at 22%, for your hydrocarbon dosing valve. Now, let me flip you back. Now, and especially on a Mack or a Volvo, you really want to see that DCV is somewhere around 7-8%. When even though the system is getting hot enough, and it's gonna burn it, it's gonna get the soot out of it, but that thing running down, I'm up to 23% on that dosing control valve. That tells me that I've got a dirty nozzle out there. And when you're blowing that kind of fuel in there with a dirty nozzle to try to get that temp up there, that could have an effect down there on that NOx, especially on the inlet. But I'll know more when I get in here and I actually start the NOx conversion test. But I wanted to show you guys that are using this software. And that's a good indicator right there. When you see that percentage that high on that dosing control valve, most likely that puppy done got dirty. It needs to be replaced on it. And anytime you replace that dosing control valve, depth dosing control valve, anything in that system, make sure you go reset the learn system data and clear all that out. Now, first time you do a regen, that thing's going to start up and it might kick out 2 or 3 times because you've reset all that. It's got to learn, okay, I give it this much, I get this much heat. But I wanted to let you know that while I seen these numbers, and as soon as it gets done doing that, we're going to go right straight into this NOx conversion. But I'll catch y'all back in a minute. How you doing? I've been remembering to make sure I showed you every step when I went through, but you're not going to believe it. I did go ahead and run the NOx conversion test as soon as I got done with regen. I brought the soot level all the way down to 6% on the regen. NOx conversion test took right off, and it did come back successful. Green arrows on everything, check marks. So I gotta believe what the truck computer is telling me, what the laptop is telling me. I think this driver's getting confused a little bit, but unfortunately, it's going to cost him about $600-700 to figure that out. So, but y'all have an absolutely wonderful day. I've got a couple more I got to jump on and do some regens, but y'all don't need to see that because you done been there and done that. Well, have a good one, and I'll catch up on you later. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching Parked Up Garage.